Is love enough to sustain a marriage? Day 8 of our 30-day journey.
Hey, welcome to the Bellatons. We
Day
are on
eight.
day 8.
Day 8.
Day 8 of 30 days of restoring our
We
marriage.
survived one whole week.
One whole week and a day
In
today
one day.
as we go into
In one day.
Today we want to talk about something that's very dear and important to us, and that question is,
Love.
Love.
Is it enough?
is it enough to keep a marriage together?
Is it enough?
You always hear about love and it should be it all when you go into, you go and get married. And so everyone talk about, oh, do you love her? I'm so deep in love, and you're in the honeymoon phase, and
Happily
love.
ever after.
Love keeps you
Supposed to get married and stay in love forever.
forever, right?
Forever.
Always can do. But now the question is, what happens when love has its challenges?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the major challenges for us in our situation, in our love factor, which was tested really heavily,
Yeah.
it's probably when COVID happened.
Yes.
COVID happened, and during COVID, for people who don't really know, we made a major career change. We made a major
Yes.
decision change. And a part of me, for me personally, I stepped and walked away from something I love dearly. I mean, at that time, I was coaching down in Charleston. I'm about to say San Antonio. I was coaching down in Charleston, South Carolina. Was doing something I've always done my whole life. One thing about me, I've always been around sports. And so when I got out of sports, I got into coaching. Coaching is something I genuinely love. That's when I wake up in the morning, I think about it. A career that just takes over you all the time. So at that time, we went to COVID. We made a decision. We were gonna step away from coaching. Joy took a job here in San Antonio.
Yeah, we relocated in the middle of the pandemic. So if love wasn't tested then, that was definitely that's a whole nother series we can talk about, moving during COVID with kids.
Whew.
But
Trying to navigate through something that none of us navigated before. Being at home every day around all your kids, all your wife, no time apart. I mean, love was really tested and challenged at that point. And the further we got away from that situation
Mhm.
is how we probably figured out that it affected me personally more than I ever expected. Like, I really think it changed me in ways that I wasn't prepared to be for. Like, I wasn't prepared for. You would think it would be easy just going to a new place, finding a new career.
and that's what we thought. We did. It was a fresh start. We moved. We got a bigger house.
We always wanted to move to
everything.
Texas. We always wanted
We
to move
always
back to
did
Texas.
want to move to Texas. And so when the opportunity came up, we prayed about it, and God ended up saying, yes, let's move. But what we didn't know is that we would then be put into survival mode for our marriage. Because as he said, he had changed, and I saw that shift happening in him. This vibrant, go lucky man. I think you just got caught in a rut. And while I'm sitting here, I'm on to a new opportunity, and I am just super ecstatic that I'm climbing the ladder over here. I have my new co-workers. Despite COVID, I'm working, I'm grinding. And then I don't see that same grind in him, and I'm just like, Bill, who are you? Like, do I even like you today? Like, what are you doing? And so getting through that tough time when love necessarily wasn't on the table, it was about survival. I had to rely back to my foundation, which is prayer, which is God, inviting God back in. Like, okay, God, now you're going to have to help me through this, because I've never seen this side before. I've never seen what happens when careers change. What happens during that dynamic?
What happens when your spouse goes into depression?
Mhm.
That they
Yeah.
don't even notice
Yeah.
at the time. Because honestly,
I had no
during that
idea.
time, I felt away, but I didn't know how to express my own feelings. Like, I couldn't express, to my wife or to the family how I genuinely was feeling during that time. And like I said, it was a challenging love, because also during that time, I seen the reliability that she once had in me, and the confidence that she had in me was going away. It was days that I just wanted to change, but I could not get out of that funk. Sometimes I get a grasp of you, and COVID didn't happen because it wasn't like I could just genuinely go out and get any job I want and go from there. I mean, COVID wasn't hiring. They were hiring during that time. I mean, it really changed me for a while, because I mean, like, my whole life all I knew was sports, and now I'm in a new place, didn't know nobody. I tried my best to network with some people out here, really was going nowhere with it. So again, so it kind of pushed us apart in ways.
It
And
did.
me being blind at the time, not even knowing about my own stuff, I noticed my wife was separating mentally
And
from
emotionally.
it, and emotionally from it, and I didn't know how to react to that. So I mean, I was like, oh, she'll get over it, or, you know, I didn't see fault in my own stuff at the time. Like, we'll talk about it. I'm like, why is she stressing me out about this? Like, I'm really trying. Like, that was our thing. I think at the time, in that need, we needed to lean on God a little bit more, but we didn't lean on God, you know? So now it's like, it took a while. Eventually we got back to it. I mean, I think we eventually got back to leaning on God and help us and give grace to it. I mean, it's sometimes you're looking at me, I'm looking at her like, why are you mad at me? Or like, why are you like looking at me this way? But I didn't understand that. Like, she looked at me differently. I was once a strong leader in the household that was leading my household in ways that you're supposed to lead. And then you go look back at a person who goes through a depression and they're not leading anymore. You know, they're becoming a follower. That's when, you know, sometimes in marriages, you know, others have to step up on top of those things. And sometimes I have to notice, and you stepped up and took it to a whole different level with us as a household. And I watched. That makes sense. I watched for a while. And
But then to that point, for me, when I had to step up, things started changing between us and our relationship and the bond that we had, because now I took on a different role. And so now when I take on a different role, like you said, my whole perspective had changed of him. And, you know, to the world, you know, we're on a pedestal as a couple. And I'm sitting here dying in the inside, like, oh my goodness, if you only knew how I felt. And so I know that I needed to step back into being in tune with the purpose that God had for us. Like, God, you didn't bring us all the way to Texas for us to split ways. How is it that I can continue to support and show up for my husband when he's going through this hard time? You know, when I don't feel like being lovey-dovey, right? And outside of just the emotion of love, it's the intimacy. I'm doing all of this. The roles have changed. Like, I don't even want to go out on a date. And so,
and I mean, to interrupt you, but even at that time when she felt that way, I'm looking like, yo, I gave this up for you and for us. Like,
right,
you know,
my thing was, no. We prayed about it. We prayed about it.
Which we did pray about it, but
right,
then
it was resentment. It
was some resentment, because I'm like, man, you're treating me like this, and I walked away for you. Like, I walked away for our family. Like, I walked away for something that I genuinely loved doing. Like, coaching was something I genuinely loved and expected I would do for the rest of my life at that time, you know? Even during the bad times of coaching, it was just something I always expected. So to see it sometimes, I seen disappointments. Like, I felt like I disappointed you at times, and like, that time it was the emotions of love. Like, the emotions of love, like, I'm like, how you give up on me? Like, that's how I felt at times. Like, how are you giving up on me? In that same sense, you were probably feeling like how you gave up on you as well, you know, if that makes sense. And so, like, you want, you know, even during that time, we didn't walk away, we didn't speak divorce, because we wasn't in that mind frame of it. It was, eventually we'll get over it. You know, I mean, I think eventually the process was like, we'll get through this. We'll get through this. But even at that time, even when things do change, and the love does creep back in, does it change automatically? Does it? I mean, no. It takes time to rebuild and rekindle that.
It was time. It was time. And we always say that love without God is just emotions. You're just going through the motions. And when you invite God back into that, that's when it truly becomes a covenant. And a covenant is a protection that you have with that person. It's a bond that you have with that person. And I truly believe that now we I can say I love you and I'm in love with you. I am so in love with you. And to have that feeling come back knowing where we were, it's been 5 years. It's been
It's been
5 years. Knowing where we were 5 years ago, I know that grace played a big part, a big part of it, and understanding and truly communicating our raw feelings and our raw emotions within each other, laying it out on the table. Like, this is what I need you to do. This is what I expect you to do, and vice versa. Okay, now this is what I expect you to do.
And without grace, we probably wouldn't even be in the situation where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have ended 5 years ago if you didn't have grace towards me at that time, and also myself having grace of understanding why you felt that way.
Mm-hmm.
That we would have been done with the marriage 5 years ago. You know, we got through it, and even though now we're doing this because we are on another patch of it, and you know, one thing about talking and understanding these things is that you remember to lean back onto the grace of God. I mean, I think one thing in therapy the other day, she said, give them the benefit of doubt. You know, I got to learn in marriage to give benefit of the doubt, right? Because love is there. Love is there. Like, I'm going to always love you. If we separated tomorrow, I will still always have love for you. Like, I genuinely will. So I don't think love is the only thing you can build on. Because you love people, but sometimes God still makes you go different directions, if that makes sense. There's a lot of people out here that probably divorced and have love for their former spouse. So again, you have to build on other things. You have to have grace. I think that's one of the biggest words that you say, and give them the benefit of the doubt. And to remember that that person, your significant other, is human just like you are. You know? And I think in a marriage, you put your spouse on pedestals. You put them up high. You keep them in this high regard. Yeah. That, like you said, with the expectations, like we expect them to be this high expectation pedestal that when they do fall and they do filter or fall off that pedestal, you kind of like start playing the blame game and like, oh, I see your flaws here and there. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a point we got to in our marriage at one point. But like I said, I think where we are right now, we're rebuilding. We are putting that foundation back into God. Because He allows us to repent our sins, and He shows us unconditional love. I think that's what we're learning is unconditional love. Love and unconditional love are two
totally different things.
Unconditional love is I'm going to love you regardless of what you're going through.
I'm going to love you through your depression. I'm going to love you when it hurts. I'm going to love you when I'm angry.
And one thing I will tell you in advice, you have to allow them to be who they are. Mm-hmm. You have to allow them. That's one thing I think that has kept our marriage together is that I have loved you because I allow you to be who you are, and you allow me to be who I am. I mean, as a person, and not a pretend person. I think that's one thing and why we get along so well. Even like I said, even 3 weeks ago when we were on this, separation, we were still getting along. Like, we might have had tough conversations, and those blowouts we talked about, we were probably having blowout moments where we had to sit back and really redefine our arguments and really listen to each other and figure out why we're here and how we're here. But like I said, I mean, that love wasn't there. It was the compromising and listening to each other. So again, we appreciate you tuning in to us today on day 8 as we speak about love. And hopefully we gave you some good advice about love and that can benefit you in your own relationship.
Right. Or even ask a question to you all who are watching. What are things that you're doing now to keep your love alive within your relationship? So just kind of ponder on that and ponder outside of love, what are other things that you are doing, excuse me, to sustain? How are you sustaining? So comment below, please. We would love to hear your feedback on this, questions on this. And
be more interactive. We have had people that send us text messages, send us Instagram messages on the Bellingtons. Make sure you follow the Bellingtons on Instagram, TikTok, and make sure you subscribe, like, and view the videos. And if it's beneficial to us, let us know. Leave a comment. Let us know.
Well, if there's anything else you want to discuss, let us know. We're here.
As we go, Bellingtons out.